everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fourtress of a podcast about movies, TV shows, video games, and lots of pop culture and nerd things. My name is Oscar. I'll be one of your hosts today, and with me, per usual, are two of your other hosts. We got Alex,
Yo.
Braun / the dad, and we got Brian, the beard / new reliable / the Spider-Man villain, Mr. Negative on a redemption arc, Dragon Ball Z style.
I'm a Spider-Man villain now. I love that. I didn't see it.
Well, that's where Mr. Negative came from. That was the first thought.
Okay.
I feel like last week I was the beard. Does the beard just kind of switch to whoever you're looking at?
That's honestly, that's up to you guys, because now Devin also is rocking the beard.
Is Devin back with the beard? I haven't seen Devin in a long time. He's still beard Devin in my mind, you know?
In my heart and soul.
Yeah, in my heart mostly, for sure.
I just needed a different B word to get it. I don't,
I'll say you're the Braun now. Okay, let's go. He's strong.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Doing good, feeling good.
Look at this, Alex. 2 weeks in a row. That's like a
baby.
record.
Yeah, we out here.
Just do this for 54 more weeks and you'll hit 100 episodes. Let's go.
Any day now. Any day.
This is Alex's 50-second episode, I think.
Yeah, happy to be here. I gotta go.
Yes. So we should get a move on because we got some fun, interesting, sad, and also cool stuff to talk about in this episode. So guys, should we just head into our first segment of the week?
Let's
do it.
News talk.
First piece of news. Let's start with the stat stuff. Let's get that out of the way. Man, we've been talking a lot about game companies, and layoffs been happening a lot more common than I feel like they usually have been in the past. And one of the ones that surprised, I think, a lot of people is Naughty Dog. The golden goose, one of the golden gooses of the gaming world.
You're not safe.
No one is safe, man. Yeah. Like, for real, I think that was the biggest surprise.
Yeah. That's
Kotaku, they broke the news that Naughty Dog, they are laying off at least 25 developers. They are not immune to whatever the fuck is going on in the gaming world.
And of course, this comes after Epic Games' big 900-person layoff, which is fucking, that's a wild number. The fact that they have they have so many people that work for Epic is really crazy. I'm willing to believe that they saw that happen, and now companies are like, yeah, it's about time. Let's go ahead.
Let's do it now. Let's let them take the heat.
It's trending online, so it's like everybody wants to jump in on the action.
I mean, that's a thing that like actually happens. Like, that's not uncommon, which is really unfortunate. A lot of people are like, yeah, I think it's about time to cut or flex. I'm pretty sure they probably had their Q4, or they're about to have their Q4 earnings call. And we all know that their multiplayer game is currently in development hell.
Dude, I am so fucking... It's done. It's dead. They literally said it's on ice. It's dead.
That sucks.
It's a bummer.
So I think with that, it really shows that it really sucks when you work really hard on stuff and you just get canned right afterwards. I need the development company. I need game dev to unionize. You got to unionize, because this is so normal.
I wonder if this is the moments just before all this happens. Maybe people are getting ready. I wish we had like more.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised,
but,
you know.
Yeah.
Like, this is the Order 66. That's gonna,
when you unionize, these companies end up having to spend X amount more money every year. I hope that this is them just preparing for that, and that's the reason for all these cross the board layoffs. But it's sad nonetheless.
Yeah. I mean, after Activision Blizzard, like all that kind of stuff happening over the past few years, I really felt like that would have been the trigger for a lot of people to be like, yeah, we need to go ahead and like, we got to work some shit out, because like this isn't okay. But I guess people at Naughty Dog, like, which makes sense, is like that's one of the most profitable companies for PlayStation right now. I'd be like, yeah, I'm safe here. Like, this is one of the better jobs. Like, we do well. Our crunch isn't that miserable. Like, I'm living a good life. Psych.
Fans like us.
Yeah.
So much for the good graces that they won over with us.
Right.
Now they're just one of everybody else.
Right.
It's like in every movie where it's like, a god can bleed. He's just a man. Oh yeah, it's a bummer, honestly. Like, for multiple reasons. Like, we probably won't see that multiplayer game. We don't know what the hell happened to make it such a. They couldn't crack the code. Yeah. I don't know what it was.
Well, I'm sure we'll get some news stories popping up as like more and more devs start talking about it. Even especially if you fire some of them. That'll be like, so this is what happened, and that shit sucks.
This is the shitstorm. Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see come around.
Yeah, it's just a bummer, you know, especially when like it's from such a prestigious developer that we all know like makes pretty much not flawless but top of the line games, and like it's like, damn, what is happening in this weird
game dev is the
sphere.
highest grossing like media platform by far right now.
Yeah.
So if they can't keep people, like what the fuck is happening? What are you doing?
Is it the
Yeah.
highest grossing? That's a
Yeah, it's almost higher than all of them combined. Like it's a crazy amount of money in games.
Games make a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure GTA is like 50% of that.
Yeah. And it'll be the next 50% over the next 10 years because GTA 6 is never coming out.
Right, yeah. Let's move on because this is in the same realm. Speaking of more layoffs, Telltale Games, who this was news first circulated on fucking Twitter that yeah, they a lot of layoffs there. Basically everyone
Which is
gone.
so funny
Shit.
because literally they already went under a different company. Yep. They got bought out, got turned into Telltale Games, and then they fucking fired them again. That's so shitty.
Wow.
And that's another thing that it's like the Wolf Among Us 2 is never going to come out now because they can't seem to get that together either.
Yeah, I mean, they say it might still next year, but not with the 4 people that are working.
Let those fucking people rest, man. How are you going to buy me back and be like, hey, you want to come back and work again for this company? Just kidding, you're fired again. What's wrong with you people?
Yeah, it's a bummer, man. Something's happening. Something's going on.
Yeah.
Something's in the water.
There's something in the water. Yeah,
Alex might be right. Maybe something big's about to happen. I hope so.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know about Telltale. I wonder is there just one person working there now? That seems like a special case.
Yeah, they probably just suck. I don't think they have.
They're just done. They're just done. Throwing in the towel.
I mean, look, I would like to say and hope that with all of the writer strike and the actor strike, people are seeing that people, solidarity works sometimes. And
Jennifer Hale was talking about it recently about how she only got paid $1,200 to work on Metal Gear Solid 1.
That's crazy. Well, honestly, I'm not surprised in 1999 or whatever.
That game
but
made
that's still crazy.
like $25 million.
It made like $80 million. I think so. Something
God
like that.
damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Pay people. Please pay people. All right. Moving on to also, God, this is real shitty news this week.
There's just a lot of bad news, guys.
Just bummer.
This is according to the Wall Street Journal. Netflix is reportedly planning to raise its prices once again because of the actors' strike.
You can't do it again. You just did it. What's wrong with you people?
Yo, Netflix is about to be $50 a month, guys.
It's that fucking what's that thing with Jesse in Breaking Bad? He can't keep getting away with this.
Oh boy.
They really are trying. They're trying people real hard. Like they're really like on the line of like, how much can we get away with here at Netflix? And it's like, nothing, bitch. You cost too much money, you don't have enough good shows.
And like honestly, this doesn't surprise me. I think this was like the kind of talking point that a lot of different news outlets and things were saying, like, because of both of these strikes and these companies having to pay people more, it might end up us having to be the consumers who watch these things might be the ones that are paying more to pay them type of thing, which is shitty all around, but but
of course they will. And I mean, honestly, Netflix is one of the last people to do it. Like, whatchamacallit, what is it? Not Paramount Plus, but the other one, Peacock. Peacock's already raised their price. Max already raised their price. Like, they were already heading that way. So Netflix
Disney raised its prices.
Disney and Hulu, that whole thing, which is also fucking stupid. It makes me mad.
I'm starting a GoFundMe page so I can keep up with what's coming out, guys. So
GoFund my streaming service.
We're going back to fucking cable at this point.
Yeah,
honestly,
I mean, it's definitely cheaper. It's got to be cheaper.
If you're a person that has them all, I don't know anyone who has every single one. It probably is more expensive than cable.
Oh, absolutely.
For
sure.
There's like 8 of them now.
There's so many things that don't even come out on cable, like all these other networks that are like that's the only place you can find it. Exclusive. There's so many exclusives. Yeah.
And the biggest issue is there's just too many. It's too much like just surplus, too much bloat. And that's really fucking up the industry too. It's like you'll make a beautiful TV show, but no one might ever hear about it because like it'll come and go, and no one will know what it's on. What is it on Apple TV? Oh, I'm not gonna fucking watch Apple TV. So now the show just doesn't do well, and it just dies in the ether. Sometimes gets pulled randomly. I don't know if you've seen that happen with some shows where like someone will make a whole show. You acted in a whole show. You got writing credits on this show, and they just delete it. You just how do I put that on my resume at this point? Like, the show doesn't exist anymore. So it's something's going to change with that sooner rather than later. I think where they're going to have to do something different.
It sounds like they're just going to keep jacking it up instead of like these CEOs like giving away some of their cut. They're going to bill us for it instead. For all
they're
the
going to find just any way to them not have to lose money. Yeah.
We can meet those demands, but we're not gonna sacrifice anything still.
Yeah, I really wanted Netflix to not make money from doing the whole password sharing thing because I needed them to learn that was a bad idea. But somehow people were still like, "Yeah, I'll go pay for it." Fuck, like what? No, stop it! Stop letting them get away with this. This is stupid.
It sucks. I would imagine there is a breaking point, and I bet you every one of these companies has a financial officer that is trying to find that fine line of like, what's too much where it'll break people.
Right.
It'll happen. All right, moving on to some interesting news. CD Projekt Red, they announced that they are expanding the Cyberpunk universe, and they're doing a live action Cyberpunk project. They are collaborating with Anonymous Content, which is a production company that they are behind things like True Detective and Mr. Robot, which I both good things, which is pretty cool.
So they're gonna make this is a TV show?
It doesn't not say.
I don't think
just
there's
some kind of live action thing. Yeah.
But possibly a movie, or is this like a live action video game?
Oh, I would imagine it's going to be a movie.
Okay, I got you. That's interesting. That's cool. Do they also have like a big DLC that just came out?
They did.
Yeah.
That was Phantom Liberty.
Apparently
it's
got
Idris Elba in it, and apparently it is amazing. Apparently Cyberpunk as a whole is just a really good game now, finally.
Yeah, right.
It might be a game I can finally pick up.
Yes, it is now a playable game. I actually listened to a podcast about it recently, another podcast, and I heard a lot of good things and a lot of interesting things about the story that I'm like,
nice.
I think I want to play this game a whole lot. Which I always did.
Yeah.
I was always interested in playing it, but I just wanted
me
to
too.
wait until it wasn't broken. So
right.
Yeah, still don't play it if you don't have a current gen system. It'll still break your shit.
Yeah,
they did not
still fry the old PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
they gave up on that shit.
They didn't fix that.
Oh, one tier.
You may want to wait until you. Do you have a PS5?
Nah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I
then
got
I'd wait.
4 in the Switch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I'll
See,
wait
they have
for
it
it
for
to
the
come out on
Switch.
Switch.
It'll probably be
Any minute now.
The way that shit would be on fire on the Switch.
It just instantly explodes.
Congratulations, you created a bomb.
I'll be the meme of the person smiling in the middle of the fire. Everything's fine. Yeah, playing my Switch.
Yeah.
It's actually a really good game. I'm having a lot of fun.
I'm kind of excited. I mean, like, I have no idea what this would be, and I still haven't watched Edge Runners, but I've heard only good things from that animated Netflix show that they made. So I think they're good storytellers. I've never heard anything bad about the story of Cyberpunk, and obviously definitely not anything about the story of the Witcher game. So, I mean, cool.
Sounds like a win.
Yeah. I'm interested in world building. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Finally, some good news.
All right, so let's move on to the last and final piece of news. But to do that, we have to head to the trailer park. So let's go there.
Mom's Spaghetti.
Bow down, back it down, bow down, back it down, bow down, back it down, bow down, bow down. Is this? What is this?
Let's talk about this very quickly. This is the first and only trailer. Here we are, listeners. Is for I'm assume it's PokeTsume. Maybe? I'm assuming something like that. PokeTsume. Yeah. It is. We've talked about this in the news in the past. This is the live action Pokemon TV show that is coming out in Japan or is already out. I don't remember what date. I think it was sometime in October. That is not the live action Pokemon show you would think it is. It is it's kind of like, do y'all remember that Pokemon trading card game on Game Boy? It's just like you just run around and playing the trading card game of Pokemon.
I thought that was so fucking goofy.
It's a video game, but you're playing with the cards. You're not playing with the actual monsters.
But but the story is you're a kid that has cards and plays.
Wow. No, that's funny.
So I was playing myself at the age of 7 to 12.
Meta.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's kind of like that in the sense that this isn't a world that has Pokemon in real life. It's about
it's our world, right?
Comes back home after like quitting a job. She like in her early 20s or some shit like that. And she quit a job that sucked or something. And she comes home and her mom sends her old Pokemon Red, like, and a bunch of old like Game Boy stuff. And it's about her playing that and like how that helps her. It seems to me, at least in this trailer, like a coming of age type of story, but influenced by Pokemon, which honestly is probably I'm into it in the sense that it's something new.
Yeah.
I would have seen this or guessed this from a Pokemon anything.
Yeah. It seems very whoever was involved making this probably had a lot of love and like touching stories behind like their own experience with Pokemon. You know, I feel like a lot of us can relate to that, and that kind of makes me excited. I feel like it's really made with good intention. You know.
Yeah.
I fuck with a wholesome movie, wholesome TV show, stuff like that. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Who would have thought?
yeah, like we were saying off pod, if it gets like either a dub or some subtitles, because it's only released in Japan at this point, and it's good, I'll check it out.
Please, I don't know how. I know some people like to watch dub, but I know I don't know if you've watched some Netflix dubs. Those dubs are horrendous. They are so bad.
I don't think I've ever watched a dub of a live action thing.
Don't do it. Like
So,
the dub
yeah.
of what was that really popular show about the people killing each other for the $44 million?
Oh, right.
Oh, what? Damn.
Squid Games.
What is that
Squid
called?
Games.
Squid Games.
There you
That
go.
dub is atrocious. That is a horrendous dub. Do not watch a dub. I don't know what the fuck they were cooking when they did that. So I like to watch
That's
stuff.
funny.
But yeah, I hope they do. I'll probably be interested in watching this, even if it is a stinker, just for the culture.
Yes,
Right.
it seems cool, like
Yeah.
a little documentary.
Alrighty, that is the news, guys. That's the trailer park, which means we are done. Shall we now move into our main topic of the week?
I guess.
Let's get it.
Oh, gee, Brian, thanks. All right, let's do that, listeners. As you can tell, we're all very excited here. So let's move into our main topic. But first, we're trapped in another fortress. This is a fortress that we've talked about at least the first half of the season a couple of weeks ago, and we're here to finish it off. It's full of Jedi. It's full of witches. It's full of literal cliffhanger endings. We'll get into spoilers in a second because we are in the fortress of
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
The last 4 episodes.
season 1, mainly the last 4, because we talked about the other 4, but spoilers obviously for the whole thing. But yeah, we're talking about Ahsoka. Finally wrapped up. The Rosario Dawson led Netflix series. I guess she kind of led it.
Right.
Non-spoilers, real quick. Alex, because you weren't here for the first 4.
Yeah, I couldn't make it.
Non-spoilers. What did you think of Ahsoka?
You know, as a whole, I really enjoyed it. It was it took a while to get its footing, but I loved the tone and the characters mostly. I think what what they were trying seemed really cool and exciting. But as it ended, like the last episode, I guess for me just kind of fell a lot more flat than I was hoping for, especially compared to every other episode and the build. And it just kind of I guess I was hoping for more of a resolution.
Yeah.
That was one of many complaints about the last episode. But as a whole, if you don't think about that one, I really enjoyed it. It was a good season.
I'm pretty much there with you in terms of the finale. I'll probably talk more about it in spoilers. I did watch bits and pieces of the last 4, primarily the 5th episode and the last episode again, and felt better than I did. So I think it is a expectation thing /
Yeah.
which is on us, but also slightly on them in terms of what they've been giving us to expect some things, But so I definitely acknowledge that. But yeah, I do think there are some really cool moments in that finale in particular, and then some fucking atrocious moments in that finale.
It had some of the best action, but I think there was a couple fight scenes that were maybe cooler, but one of the bigger complaints as a whole for the season or the show, and maybe like current / new Star Wars in general, is like the choreo just never kind of feels quite right still.
Right.
Like everybody's just a little bit like stiff, like
Super
constrained. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more about specific stuff. I feel like we'll talk a little bit more about, because I do think one of those issues might be the cinematography.
Yeah,
and I think that they definitely did an interesting thing, and I think that was kind of what their plan was, to make more stiff cameras for this show specifically.
Right.
But that almost was to their detriment, because it made some stuff look a little goofy.
I read an article talking about how, or maybe it was another podcast. They shoot on the LED walls. I forget what they're called. That just it's like a
the volume.
Yeah, LED volume. It's like a huge, giant screen or a bunch of tiny screens, and it's their backdrop, and it's like. It's great for a lot of reasons and practicality, and like it can help you light the scene, and you don't need a green screen. But they're doing this for like huge exteriors, and that kind of limits the amount of space and like the position of your camera sometimes, instead of like actually being outside. So I think that the advantages that these LED volumes can get you are really cool, but sometimes it doesn't quite feel the same. I think that's the biggest issue.
It's simultaneously the best and worst thing that's happened to Star Wars. Because like again, like you were saying, at times it's great, but like especially like you can just tell oh, they shot at this in the volume. You can just tell by looking at a scene, and it's distracting.
It's almost like watching a theater piece, which isn't a bad thing. It's just like, very different.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah.
I thought this was an incredibly mid show. And I think it only lands mid only because the highs are high, but the lows are so low that it just kind of falls towards the middle. There was some stuff that I was like, hell yeah, that's so cool. And there was a lot of stuff that I was like, man, I wish they would put Subway Surfers in the corner of this TV show so that I can pay more attention, because this is a whole bunch of nothing. And I'm beginning to notice that a lot of, I don't know if it's just Disney shows as a whole or maybe just Star Wars, they put everything's so fillerish. Like, not much once again happens in this show. And we had 8 episodes of it. That's really weird to me. And Obi-Wan was the same way. The most recent season of Mandalorian was kind of that way. It's just this thing where this feels like they put so much into so little.
It's almost like, sorry to cut you off, it's almost like they take out the stuff that you want to hear more about and put in stuff that you don't care.
Exactly. That's just so weird to me. And it's like, I don't know. It's almost like they wanted to make this show before they figured out what they even wanted to do. Because this is supposed to be a follow-up of so much stuff that we know. And we really didn't get that deep into it after all of that. So it's just kind of like, what the fuck? And maybe it's by playing a long game?
Yeah. If you never watched Ahsoka and you're a huge, like, Clone Wars and Rebels fan, you almost still don't know what's going to happen next.
I can, like, in one sentence, I could tell you exactly what happened in the entire show, and that would be enough to be like, okay, I don't need to watch this. Like, I don't really know, unless you want to see Rosario Dawson do some cool stuff. That's about it. Like,
the big cool moments are really big and cool, but yeah, there's a lot of
I'm not gonna
stuff
lie,
to wait for in between.
Yeah, like this, for me at least, has one of the best Star Wars things I've ever seen in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like this series contains moments like that are
that's
top tier
true.
Star Wars
that is
things.
True, yeah.
That's why I think it's such a weird mixed bag of a show.
It dips its toe in all those things. Like, hey, this show is about this amazing thing, but we're not going to really get into it.
Right.
We're just going to add it to the tag. Like this is about this, it's about that, but we're not going to get into any of those things.
Right. And I'll save for spoilers. We'll get to spoilers when we talk about the ending. Let's do that now. Let's head into spoilers. So spoilers, listeners, for the entire first season of Ahsoka, probably a lot of other things like Rebels and Clone Wars, and just like all of Star Wars in general, but primarily Ahsoka, so just be aware of that. Let's start with, obviously, Episode 5, Shadow Warrior.
Episode 5.
The Return of Hayden Christensen, Anakin Skywalker.
This was a peak episode right here.
This was amazing, personally. Like, my only gripe, and we kind of talked about it, I think, in the past episode, maybe, is I didn't quite feel that Ahsoka earned her Ahsoka the White status at the end of this. It still felt somewhat incomplete of an arc as a character.
I really agree with that. It was almost surprising, like, how confident, and she's always like cocky, but it was like a different type of, like, so assured.
And I just didn't know what, like, the problem was. Was she learned to, like, not give up and survive?
What did she learn? Yeah, what did she learn?
And I think that's the most confusing-ish part. Like, other than that, I fucking loved that episode.
She didn't die, which was cool. Maybe that's all you gotta do. Yeah. I'm smarter.
Yeah. I don't know. But do y'all think they de-aged Hayden in this episode?
Yeah.
I genuinely could not tell.
I think they did. He looks like a little bit smoother. Maybe it's just he looked a little bit more digital than everybody else. So I assumed it was de-aging.
I don't know. I just I'm usually have a decent eye for this kind of thing, and I was looking. I was like, I just can't tell if that's his face or not. Because like in Obi-Wan, everyone complained that he looked too old, and then I remember at the end of episode 4 when he just shows up at the very end, I was like, ooh, that looks a little rough. Let's hope they fix that. But this entire episode, I was like, holy fuck. It looks amazing.
He was supposed to be like young, like Clone Wars age, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely smoothed out his face. You were right about that. But I do think it looked a lot better than it did. And some of the other stuff they've tried to do that with. Because he definitely has like the bags under his eyes and stuff like that. Things that happens when you're in your 40s. Like,
right.
Just standard things. But yeah, I don't think it looked bad. And maybe the lighting trick maybe did well for them. Something like that.
Man, it was good to see him though. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it was like some of the best stuff that he's been in for Star Wars. Like,
yeah. This might be the best thing he's been in for Star Wars, this episode.
If he goes out like that, like that's a good way to go out. But I do hope we see him again.
And that was kind of a thing, is that it didn't really feel final, that whole kind of like push and pull with him. It was like, I thought we were going to see him again, and I mean, we kind of did. But I expected like there wasn't a resolution. They were going to come back to it and be like, oh, shit, I'm having bad nightmares again. fucking Anakin, he's a bad guy. Like, no, they're just like, yep, you beat me, brother. See you later.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
All right.
I'm at peace.
Yeah.
I guess she did, like, they had a huge conversation. I'm forgetting all the details, but I think she did get to say, like, her biggest gripe, which was something about, like, regretting abandoning him. Like, I feel like she got to say that to him, and maybe that's what was just holding her back. Like, she never got to say her piece or something. I didn't watch, Clone Wars or Rebels, but I kind of know what happens.
Right, yeah. But I will say, Hayden showed everyone up in terms of lightsaber choreography in this entire show.
Yo, he did the
he said, "I
thing.
came to play."
He did the thing with the flinging on the thing and around the back. I was like, yo, that looks like fucking Anakin Skywalker.
He takes his choreo very seriously, I've noticed.
That was great.
That was amazing. He made Rosario's choreo look better. He made everyone in the scenes around him look better.
That was probably the most Star Wars-y like fight scene.
Yeah. Very much so. Yeah. I mean, and I'm not gonna lie, getting a live action Clone Wars, like him in his Clone Wars armor outfits and young baby Ahsoka,
it's pretty cool.
I was floored. I was basically standing this entire episode because I couldn't contain myself. It was just like, holy shit, is this really happening right now? This is ridiculous.
I heard that was the girl from that also played Little what's her face in the Marvel.
Little Gamora.
Oh yeah.
Little Gamora. Yes, give my queen some work. Let's go.
Paint her a different color,
right.
whatever.
They just gonna keep painting that little child some different colors, making her a different alien every day.
She's in a couple other things. I forget now, but yeah, she working.
She was in I think she was in Barbie.
That's right.
She was the daughter in Barbie.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Girl getting work. Yeah, I mean, like all that Clone Wars stuff was great. Like we got to fucking see a live action Captain Rex clone as well for the first time ever. Like it made me be like, damn, I really want a live action Clone Wars better than the actual clone movie we got.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then I mean, just like more about the whole Hayden stuff. I think like him having to fight her with the red lightsaber and he's basically fighting her as Vader. I thought all that stuff, like the imagery in this episode was some of the coolest shit.
Yeah. So what you guys think? You guys think this was like a hallucination or like Force ghosts, or do you think she was in the world between worlds for real?
A good question.
I think that she was in the world between worlds, even though it looks a little bit different. I think it is the world between worlds, and he's kind of like, we can talk more about him in one of the later episodes, but he's like, super powerful and can just like control that realm and kind of appear in that realm more so than like Yoda might be able to with his body.
Right. I also think it's a thing that maybe like we don't really know. I think what most people thought what the world between world was based off the Rebels TV show is not what it is at all.
Right.
Based off the Rebels show, it seems like that world was just a weird time travel-y mechanism.
Homegirl, she was fighting on fucking Rainbow Road. Like that wasn't anything. This was nothing.
To me, at the end of that, I was like, "Is this Jedi purgatory? Is this what is that? What we're doing? What is this?" I don't know if Anakin's real or not. I don't know if he's a Force ghost because he's also talking about how like he doesn't have memories of battles because he wasn't there, and has memories of all these.
They weren't there. I looked that part up, but they were separated. They were on two different missions.
Yeah, no, he wasn't there.
Like
but that to me means like he has those memories. Is he the Force ghost then? He is a Force ghost.
I think it's really him. But I think it's like different than a Force ghost of like
it's just a different being.
It's a Force ghost of like Yoda or Obi-Wan couldn't quite do that because he was like in it and kind of like therapizing her and like helping her get to different points. Right? I felt like it was almost like was it Agatha? Who's like what was that Marvel series? Agatha the witch.
And Wanda. Yeah.
Wanda. I kind of remember WandaVision. Yeah. But yeah, I think it was really him because he even said a line about what happened in Episode 6 in Star Wars, the movie, when Ahsoka says to him, "I'm not gonna fight you. Like I won't do it," and he says just before he attacks her, he says, "Oh, I've heard that before." Yeah. And to me, that was that's directly like talking about when he fought Luke Skywalker in Episode 6
as Vader.
As Vader. So
that's
it's like,
what I'm talking about.
This is post when they knew each other. This is information that what's her name doesn't know. So this is him.
So it's all very unclear, and I think it's purposefully vague because I don't think Dave Filoni wants to explain this.
I don't think he knew what he wanted to do with it yet. So he's like, we're gonna just make this whatever you think it is.
This is the anything land. Yeah. I do have to shout out. There was one moment where Ahsoka talks to Anakin before they fight again when he's got the red lightsaber. She's like, you're more powerful and dangerous than anyone ever thought. And he's like, is that what this is about? It's like, yeah, bitch. We want to talk about that fact that you became Darth Vader. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, you mean that? Like, come on.
That whole killing everyone, younglings and everything. Oh, that's what this is about.
It's just a little bit of murder. Come on, guys.
But I will not lie. I did like get very happy as soon as I saw Ahsoka wearing that white shawl. I was like, oh, this she here. The Ahsoka that everyone's been wanting and that people have been like just bored of the whole stoic Ahsoka in the first 4 episodes. I'm like, she's here. We got Ahsoka the White. I mean, Dave Filoni clearly loves Lord of the Rings. She literally had to quote unquote die and then come back as Ahsoka the White. I'm like, okay, bro, we got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But I'm confused actually because she was this version of her at the end of Rebels, right? At the
they
very,
retconned
very
that
end.
shit.
Oh, okay. Because technically that would have happened before this TV show. Okay.
I mean, they literally reshot that scene at the end of, what is it, the 2nd episode?
Yep.
I think. When she gets Sabine, and that's literally the same scene, but Ahsoka's wearing gray.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, okay, so they kind of tweaked it a little bit for this purpose.
I kind of thought that still happened, and we just missed like 6 months to a year, and that's why they were like, oh yeah, Ahsoka is training me. I'm her apprentice, but we broke up or whatever.
No, we still haven't seen that time she tried to train Sabine. Like that happened. That still happened prior to episode 1.
Yeah, but maybe that was, when they were trying to look for Ezra at the end of Rebels, and she just had the wrong costume on.
I want to say no because they literally shot it like the same fucking thing.
It's called an allude.
Right. Maybe. But yeah, I mean, and then that led into what was one of my favorite Star Wars moments of the fucking year, of potentially top tier of all time.
Oh,
is this whole sequence when they use the Purgles to space travel, to hyper travel. And that whole sequence from her, they get into the mouth, and just the music in that moment. Listeners, go listen to it. It's out now because the fucking season's over. It's just so fucking good. And I was just like, I was floored by this whole sequence with Hera saying, "May the Force be with you," and then they're going to a new galaxy in Star Wars, something we've never seen before.
Yeah, that was pretty freaking awesome. I was super hyped for that. Man, I will say though, I kind of snapped out of it. My wife walked by and she's like, "What is going on right now?" And I was like, "Oh yeah,
is this Star Wars?"
I'm like, they're flying with a space whale to go into another galaxy." And she was just like, "Are you like? Did you hear what you just like?" That's
the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
But Star Wars is the dumbest thing.
It's so Star Wars, though.
It's perfectly Star Wars. That you can't have a conversation with someone that doesn't know Star Wars and say things like that, because then you sound like that. You just sound like a fucking crazy person. Or it's like,
you sound like a lunatic.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
She's getting in the space whale's mouth and going to a different galaxy.
It's pretty hilarious. But yeah, I mean, you wouldn't expect that from like the movies, and right. I didn't know about Purgil before this show was in like whispers. I think there was stuff in Mando, and I was like, what is this thing? But as someone who's never seen any of the TV shows, like all this stuff is pretty laughably weird.
And that is, I think, one of the things that I've heard a lot of criticism about in this show is that can person like aka Alex, who hasn't seen any of those shows, enjoy this show, or is it too deep cutty?
Yeah, that's a good question. I do a ton of research, so I feel not left out before I watch all these things.
Because I would imagine the average consumer is like
pretty lost. Yeah,
what the fuck is going on?
I mean, maybe you can just appreciate it's just like brand new characters. That'd be kind of exciting,
right?
To never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. But they also introduce a lot of weird stuff, like maybe the world between worlds is introduced. The fucking whales are introduced. The magician ladies are introduced. All that stuff is just like right. So like, ooh, zombies are introduced.
That's brand new, right? Like that's
yeah.
that was I LOL'd a little bit when
there were some tough sales.
Was it the last episode? He like actually was grabbing her and like about to like bite her. It looked like it's just this is hilarious.
Again, I feel like a lot of this stuff, like, you get away with it in animation.
Absolutely. And I think that was the thing. That was the biggest thing I felt. That I was like, if this was a cartoon or something, I'd be like, yes, okay, this makes sense. But seeing it in live action really made it not work for me. And that the whole introducing magic into Star Wars in that way was like like I was just groaning the entire time I saw like some of those bits that was happening. I was like, yes, okay, we have witches, so that's fine, whatever. Okay, they've made zombies. I'm not so sold anymore.
I don't think the zombies hit as hard as they wanted it to be. I think they wanted it to be like, this is the new force of the Empire. It's driven by magic and zombies.
I have a Head Cutter 3000 in my hand. 2 of them.
Right.
2 of them. Like, I am not afraid of no fucking zombies. Why is this such a weird
stormtroopers? They still shoot like shit.
Yeah, they're arguably worse than...
At one point, you can tell they were like, this isn't really selling well. So they sped them up and made them faster. Because in the beginning, when they were just like, oh, it's like, this is I feel no scare or no fear for their lives right now. So they're like, okay, let's make them run a little bit. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
They understood that this was stupid.
Yeah. Let's kind of stick in that realm. Like, because honestly, I barely have many notes for episodes 6 and 7 until the finale. Because, not gonna lie,
6 Thrawn comes back.
They're kind of slow. Well, I mean, we get the reveal of Thrawn, which I will say his entrance and his fucking epic organ music was awesome.
He's pretty cool.
I'm not gonna lie.
He's pretty cool. Every time he's on screen, I'm like, ooh, turn the volume up.
Yeah. Blue Elon Musk has pretty good lines in the show. For sure.
He's pretty good.
He feels scary to me.
Yeah. I think he's good. I mean, obviously he's the same dude who did the voice. I think he's good. He's intimidating. Maybe we'll talk about his plan, but I will say he had a pretty dope ass monologue before he took off and said peace to Ahsoka.
Yeah, right.
Peace out.
I would love to see like a Rogue One style spin-off just on him. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
How was it for you seeing Ezra in live action?
Honestly,
or which was more exciting, Thrawn or Ezra or somebody different? Because you watched all the other shows.
Hayden.
fair. Yeah.
Okay.
He definitely took the shot.
That's the only real answer.
I don't know, because like part of me thought like the big moments of like Ezra's return would be a little more like epic, and
it was
only in the like he just shows up, he's like, hey, what's up? It's a Sabine, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. We haven't seen you in a decade, and what's up?
It's me,
man?
Space Jesus.
He did some cool stuff the next episode. Yeah, he was like force pushing some people. The way he held that lightsaber.
That
was
stuff
dope.
I thought was pretty cool on a second viewing. First viewing, I was like, it's okay. It's the weirdly little Avatar Last Airbender live action stuff. They still haven't nailed quite. Frankly,
yeah.
It makes me a little worried for that Netflix show. But
that's true.
On a second viewing, I mean, like the idea of it is very cool. He's just like, fuck it, I don't need shit. I got the Force, baby.
I wish they showed better Force powers. I really just hate that everything just turns into light pushes. Where it's like, I want to see this man command the fucking Force. Like, if you're not even going to use a lightsaber, I want to see you be able to throw people around like crazy. Like, no, he just goes, And like, okay, like I can do that. Like, what the fuck?
I was kind of expecting him to be like way more powerful. Like,
yeah.
I don't know exactly how powerful he was at the end, but all of his journey sounded like he would have like had to go through a whole lot to be alive still.
And I think that's the problem, is that like in maybe the Rebels by the end, it seems like, holy shit, yeah, he is very powerful.
Yeah,
and then they have to like kind of nerf these characters because they think there's nowhere else to go once they've hit that point. You know, there's like, well, we have a god on our side. How do we write a story about this? You know, because like I would imagine the Ezra and Rebels. We'll talk about this because this is where we get to a major complaint in a second. Can make that jump in the finale.
Oh yes, no question.
But we'll get to that later. But yeah, so it's like it's a weird nerfing of plot.
Watch
Same
anime.
With Ahsoka at times.
Watch anime. Anime does a good job of having overpowered characters and still have a good story. If you not watch One Punch Man, like come on.
Right.
Like,
it sounds like the classic Disney Star Wars video game treatment.
Right. You lose all your skills when you play a sequel.
It's God of War.
Season 1, they lost they got to relearn their abilities.
Which I like how Ezra's like, I got the Force, and then literally like the next episode he's building a lightsaber. It's like, now I want one.
Fuck, I need a lightsaber.
I thought he was like gonna just chill. It's cool to see him have a lightsaber. Where did he get this blue kyber crystal, by the way? Was that his first one?
Yeah.
Or do they just have a bunch of kyber crystals on the ship? Because if they did, I feel like that lightsaber wouldn't really work for him. Isn't it supposed to be like a bond, like a special thing?
I don't know how it works when you have to rebuild another one. Like, do you have to go into the woods and get another kyber crystal every time you lose your lightsaber?
Right,
you just gotta do it one time. Just after
I mean, Christ, he just gave Sabine his old one. Sabine didn't have to do any of that shit.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Sabine's not really, she kind of got her toe in there.
We'll get to her.
We'll get to her. She is now, apparently. We'll talk about that in a second.
Shit's dumb. Stupid.
Wait.
I think she's
wait,
gonna have. She's gonna
I gotta
have to at
shout
some
out.
point.
I gotta shout out the Teenage Mutant Hobbit Turtles. Greatest Star Wars creation of all time.
I can't stand anything
Those are
more than
pretty
when
cool.
a random race pops up solely so you can sell some toys and then never be seen ever again.
Dude, they wear little vests. They're totally hobbits, man.
They were cool.
One of them literally throws a pot at a stormtrooper. I'm like, that's Sam. That's Samwise Gamgee Hobbit turtle right there.
They have the slingshots going too.
Yeah, man, I loved them. I was like, they're not gonna escape this galaxy though. We ain't never seen them, but apparently will. But whatever.
I hated them. They're gonna have one little storyline, sell some toys. We'll never see them again. We might see them in one random snippet of like 5-minute I am Groot kind of thing. Pissed.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. They're probably listening. They're gonna write that one down.
They're writing that one down.
Let's quickly talk about Shin and Balin since they ain't in the finale and they're in this. I just loved how Shin just kept getting owned by people without lightsabers. Like they just kept using the Force to hold a lightsaber and push her ass around. I was like, damn, you suck.
Yeah, she was kind of epic fail. She's super cool though.
Yeah, she started out so cool and good, and then by the end, it's like, damn. You were outclassed.
You kind of ain't shit.
Someone told me she looks like just an emo version of the girl from Crystal Castles. And I was like, man, that really sucks. I don't know. She doesn't do shit. The Inquisitors or anyone that's like Inquisitor adjacent just is useless. They're just there to look cool sometimes. That's about it.
She does have a cool look.
I think she's got good potential. Like if this comes back, the way it ended was kind of bleh, but if it comes back for another season or if we see this character again, I feel like she's going to level up a couple times.
And I think they want to, for sure. But it's just like, yeah, she was kind of lackluster when it came to like actually doing shit. Like I like the fact that like Sabine struggled with her the first time and literally got beat. And I wanted to see more of that to like more of her story arc. Sabine's story arc would have been like, oh, that's really cool that like she keeps losing to her constantly. And then at the end, maybe she finally beats her. But that didn't fucking happen. It took one time for Sabine to be like, suddenly I'm really good at this shit. Fuck you. And it was like, all right, we've deleted that kind of storyline about becoming a competent, Force user and Force Jedi.
Right. And I think that I can just talk about this now so we're in spoilers. My biggest issue with the finale, since we're talking about them, is that it's an expectation thing, obviously, is that based off every other Star Wars Disney Plus show, I didn't think this would have as many loose ends as it did. Because like Boba Fett, all 3 Mando seasons, Obi-Wan, they all by the end the major arcs of that season. Even every Mando season kind of has its own ending. There's some like loose ends, but the major stuff ends. This shit, they said, fuck it.
I truly thought they weren't even going to show those two. I thought that they weren't even going to be in the ending. So when that actually popped up, I was like, oh shit. They're in there. They realized that this was stupid to not end with anything about them.
Yeah. They cameoed.
They cameoed. Man gave Homeboy made another fucking monologue. That's all he was good for, was making some real prophetic shit.
Which I think it also hits harder because obviously, rest in peace, Ray Stevenson will not be with us as that character.
And that's kind of unfortunate part too, because I feel like he had what could have potentially been an interesting story. Because I want to know more about him, because he very much was still tied to Jedi as far as like
he was the best, man. That might have been the best part about the show. Him and Hayden.
He had really interesting stuff to say. So I thought they were going to build on that to kind of show more of his backstory, to be like, okay, this is why he's the way that he is. And then they just didn't.
I mean, clearly they're saving that, but I thought we'd get to it this season.
Yeah, right.
You got to do something. Give us something. Like, we got some crumbs on the floor about that character, basically, and that was it. Like,
I mean, they're definitely going to continue that character, I would imagine. They're going to recast.
Yeah, and that'll be sad.
They're not going to let that hang. It's a bummer. It's quite a bummer for, obviously human life, very important,
Right.
Yeah, let's talk about his cliffhanger ending. He's ending in some Lord of the Rings style statues going to Mount Doom.
Who the fuck are those fucks? Who are those people?
I'll tell you who those people are, Brian.
It's exciting.
Exciting, yeah, very exciting potential. They are what looks to be the Mortis gods, which were in a very dope, one of my favorite episodes of the Clone Wars, where it's basically they're kind of the embodiment of the Force. There's the father, the son, and the daughter character, who a lot of people have been talking about. Ahsoka is very much the daughter character, because that owl that we see at the end of this is like the physical representation of the daughter. That it's a weird lore thing. She gets turned into an owl or some shit, blah, blah, blah. And so people are wondering, is Balin the son? Is Anakin the father? Because, blah, blah, blah. Again, it's very interesting stuff that could be potentials. Like, is Balin trying to create his own like Jedi order from scratch and do it in a way that he deems fit and worthy? Because obviously he fucking thinks the Jedi fucked up, but also he doesn't agree with the Sith as well. Like, there's a lot of potential there.
And that's what I'm saying. It's so interesting, but like, I had to really work hard to even understand the interesting parts, because the dialogue is so shitty to me. That really made some of that stuff fall flat. It's like, when you explain it, that sounds so cool, but when I heard it, I was like, I don't really like this. I'm not enjoying it.
I think the story was really the best part, but the like minute to minute, like the script, the dialogue wasn't quite as great as the story, which kind of, is always Star Wars. So,
That's kind of Star Wars.
Whenever two people talk to each other, I like basically groan because it's just them like talking. They're not talking to each other; they're talking at each other, just saying shit.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to describe it any better than that. They're just saying shit for us and not for each other, really, and that really pisses me off. And I feel like this show was the biggest offender of that, where everyone just had something really prophetic to say for no fucking reason. It's like, just shut up and kill me already, Jesus.
well, I will say, speaking since we were talking about Balin and oh shit, what's the woman's name? Shin. I think that they were on this planet in this different galaxy, whatever, in the Mortis gods, and he's pointing to this Mount Doom area. I think that this is the grave or this tomb or a prison for this character Aboleth, who I'm pretty sure was when we did like a Star Wars mashup fight. It was the OP like female force user that I just
the god.
Yeah, she was like an OP god, like she wrecked everybody. But I came in hot about it. I just saw it online, but I feel like R2D2 ended up like kicking her ass. I think it was. I feel like it was 3 R2D2s against.
That's the 3 R2D2s that got him.
Yeah, the 3 R2. Yeah, but anyway,
can't handle the droid.
Apparently, this Aboleth character has ties to this father, daughter, son, and like for a time being was like the mother, I guess, in Legends stories, which a lot of like Thrawn's a Legends person. A lot of these things are in Legends, so
right. That would be.
She ended up being like crazy or too powerful, so they had to put her in this prison and yada yada. And so they're making all these references to, those people. And makes me wonder if she's gonna make an appearance, or if that's who, like a siren, who Balin is. She's calling to Balin,
right?
Because he's like the one person who might be strong enough or like neutral enough to like get her out, or become possessed by her because she possesses people, and be like this next OP god to kind of wipe the slate clean and kill everybody.
Well, these shows hate OP characters, so they would probably nerf her and make her really stupid. She'll die in 2 episodes.
Probably. I hope it's has something to do with her. Yeah.
That would be cool.
That would
I don't know much about her, so that's super cool.
Check it out. I feel like the evidence is damning. It has to be.
Interesting.
We'll see whenever that's supposed to. Well, I don't know when season 2 is supposed to happen. I don't know.
It might not. It might not.
This show might be over.
Would I be mad?
I don't. Either way, like it's just kind of like the whole show is just like a period.
Right.
Remember
when they had a third Inquisitor dude with no fucking face, and then they just murdered him?
I guess he was a zombie too.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which I loved. I loved it.
But he spoke though.
Surprises.
He spoke words.
He spoke words.
He was a good.
All
zombie.
right, let's just get to it. Let's talk about fucking Sabine is a fucking the most powerful Jedi in the world.
Boo! They had an opportunity to do something really cool, and they said, "No, we're gonna do more Rogue One bullshit where everyone feels the Force." Yay! Ruined.
Look, honestly, if it was just her pulling her lightsaber, I would have been, I think, fine with it. But the fucking force pushing of Ezra was the most egregious fucking thing I've ever fucking
You know
seen.
what? I'm happy for her. Dude, like
I'm not.
Good job. Good for you. Good for you.
I don't know. The force was just dumb. Like how?
It was pretty dumb.
They literally talked about in this season, Hu Yang, the robot, is like, yeah, you wouldn't pass class 1 of Jedi training. You're so bad at this shit, you would never get.
But
what are we doing?
She talked to Ahsoka for like 5 minutes, and they forgave each other.
Yo, wait, I gotta go back. One of the funniest moments in this episode was when they're running and they're getting like rained fire upon, and Ezra and Ahsoka are trying to hold the door open. And Ahsoka goes, "Sabine, help!" And Sabine puts her hands up to use the force to like hold the door open or some shit. I was like, she ain't doing shit. I was like, that's the equivalent of like when a dad or a mom or a parent is like doing some like hard work, yard work, and they give their kid like a plastic shovel and like, help me out, kid. That was the equivalent to that.
Oh boy. Yeah. I took it as like I was like, okay, she's obviously not gonna actually help. Maybe for some chance, like it's a miracle. Maybe this is just like a training lesson, like you gotta start
Right.
you gotta start believing, or we're not gonna get anywhere.
But apparently, maybe she's the only one that actually opened the door.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it doesn't. It's fine, whatever at this point. But I liked the fact that Sabine was just a badass Mandalorian on her own. It's like the equivalent of like randomly just Sokka got fucking water bending powers because they want to in Avatar. It's like no, the love of him is that he's still able to hang with the crew and he's capable because he's good at what he does. Right. It's like Han Solo. I don't want Han Solo to have the Force too. No.
Do you guys think this has anything to do with how does this work with the midichlorian count, the M count? Like, does that even matter now?
I don't know.
Maybe it's retcon. maybe that's retcon. Maybe it's a good thing that everybody has the Force. We have the Force too.
I mean, like, look, George Lucas has always talked about how, like, yes, technically everyone has the Force, but it's like anything. It's like comparing Michael Jordan to me. We can both play basketball, but one of us is much better than the other.
Everybody can feel a basketball, but
right.
And I mean, they played with this idea in Rogue One where they were kind of like, everyone can use the Force. That the blind dude was talking about that, and I was like, oh, okay, we get it, that's fine. And then like they kind of tested around that. No one liked that. Everyone thought that was the dumbest part of Rogue One because no one wants that to happen.
Oh, I liked him.
I thought he was cool. I thought he was a cool character because the fact he wasn't a Jedi, but still like was very Force sensitive.
Yeah.
But this shit is dumb because I just feel like it's such a boring story arc. It's a very Star Wars story arc, unfortunately. But I just really wish they would get away from the cookie cutter and like get to something interesting. Because Ahsoka
I just didn't think we needed 3 Jedi.
Exactly.
In that,
like I thought if anything would do it, it'd be Ahsoka because Ahsoka's an interesting character that has a lot of issues between like being a Jedi and stuff like that. So to see that go further, to be like, okay, we're having different kinds of Jedi now. Like this person can't even use the fucking Force. Just kidding, she can because she really thought hard with all of her heart. Like, okay, whatever. What are we doing?
Honestly, like we haven't seen someone use that kind of force ability in live action. Like,
that's what I'm more mad about. Him. I'm more mad that we've never seen this. Period. Why are people not flying around?
Right.
Why?
I would definitely fly with the Force, 100%.
Like, what the fuck?
I mean, Leia flew in what was it, episode?
She really floated.
That was it was in space. Like,
but again, we know them Skywalkers. Then they're powerful. That makes sense. Sabine couldn't move a cup 3 episodes ago.
Do you guys remember when in episode 1, when everybody could jump super high and run super fast? They got hit with that Droideka, and they're just like, let's get out of here.
The super speed move?
They fucking did. Why can't they do that anymore? Why can nobody do that?
Dude, that's been the biggest like criticism of the Phantom Menace is that Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon both use that, and then the movie ends with them getting stuck between gates, and that's how Qui-Gon died. It's like, Obi-Wan, what happened to your super speed you had in the first 10 minutes of this movie?
Oh, shit. Maybe it was like a one-time use.
Right.
You got a once in your life.
We got one time to use this ability, guys.
And he wasted it then.
Let's make it count.
I mean, look, I hate complaining about this because it makes me sound like one of those lunatic incels who like that hated The Last Jedi for those reasons and like Rey as a character.
Devin.
Honestly,
okay.
Yeah, Devin.
He's
honestly, like none of that bothered me about Rey. I'm like, fine, whatever. Who cares? I never thought about it until everyone complained about it. I was like, oh, that's dumb. Why are you complaining? I think this one just bothered me so much just because the escalation of it was so sudden. I was like, God damn.
Her story arc.
What the hell are we doing?
It's so funny how we had so much time to develop story arcs, but we still somehow managed to not.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They took out time to put in boring shit, and when they should have used that time to develop Sabine,
right.
Which
she's arguably the main character of this fucking story. Like, it's her story. Like, she's definitely the biggest supporting character.
Yeah. I mean, she got the Force now.
Yeah. So that was kind of my thing. That's like talking about this show as a whole and like being able to describe it in one sentence. I can basically just be like, this is a show about how Sabine became a Jedi and Ezra went home. Thrawn's there.
Word.
Like, that's
and Thrawn got back as well.
Like, everyone goes home.
I wonder what this means for what's going to be next. Like, is it going to be Ahsoka 2 and they're just hanging out, being buddies, learning about the Force in this other galaxy?
I mean, Baylan and Shin are on the planet too, so maybe they got to deal with Baylan's shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just again, it could be a thing that this is the reason Ahsoka is not anywhere in the sequels. I doubt it.
I think so.
That's a 30-year gap where she's just not around.
30.
Is Rosario gonna be 70 the next time we see her in the Star Wars galaxy?
With
I don't know.
Rey and
in like
else?
the Rise of Skywalker and Force Awakens.
Is that 30 years? Holy cow!
After Return of the Jedi, which is like 5 years before this, so 25-ish years or something like that.
Wow, I thought it was just like another couple of years or something. I didn't realize.
It might be more like 15-ish years. Because I think this might take place like I think it might be 5 years after Return
Luke
of the Jedi.
Skywalker gets pretty old pretty quick, so
that's also true.
I feel like
also, where's he at?
I feel like she might be like in a wheelchair or something.
She's in a wheelchair, Force wheelchair.
Yeah, she's scooting around with the Force, on Peridea, hanging out in Peridea.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I did like seeing Force Ghost Anakin. I thought that was kind of sweet way to end the series.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was
that's pretty
sweet.
cool. Very nice moment. I guess the Force travels galaxies. You know, I guess that makes sense with the Mortis God statues being in this galaxy. You know, it's not contained to one galaxy.
Yeah, the
which
Force is
pretty
everywhere.
interesting. Yeah,
I wonder if there's other planets over there, or if it's just
it's a galaxy of one.
Technically, that can happen.
It's just that.
Yeah, I mean, that's roughly it. I mean, yeah, Thrawn, he gets back. Ezra gets back. I got a question for Ezra. Why wouldn't you have your helmet off when you left that ship, other than to build suspense for your entrance? But whatever.
Yeah, I was confused. I was like, what, who even is, like, what is happening? But I had to rewind. I was like, did I miss him, like, stealing a ship? Like,
no, they just didn't
I
show
was
that.
really confused for a minute.
He looks at a dude and goes,
But
and that was
try to get the joke.
Yeah, it was goofy.
But yeah. That was weird. Why keep the helmet on?
Because drama.
Star Wars has a lot of petty characters.
He wasn't even trying to be like, gotcha. That would be funny.
I like Enoch. I'll buy that toy when it eventually.
Goldface, dude. Yeah, he looked cool.
That's it. He's useless. Doesn't do anything. Another character that'll probably just die a stupid, shitty death.
Probably.
But he looks cool.
He tells the zombies where to go.
Yeah, he's got a cool voice.
How about this green witch sword that Morgan was hanging out with?
What the fuck is that called?
That's what I was about to talk about.
A sword that's actually in. Is it Clone Wars?
Yep.
Oh, really?
It's the Blade of Talzin. Yeah. It's named after Mother Talzin, who used that sword to fight Mace Windu in a random Clone Wars episode.
Get her ass beat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was super
died.
powerful. That even like Darth Sidious, she was one of the very few people that Darth Sidious was afraid of was her, because she's a super powerful witch.
Damn. So did Windu kill her in that fight, or do we know?
It was a stalemate.
What you call that man? Window?
Windu.
Mace flew out window.
Mace Windu? I mean,
yeah, you know.
We're on the last name basis.
Yeah, I mean, I thought her fight with Morgan, that was pretty decent-ish. I thought there's some cool moments of choreography.
But it was I think it was one of the best fights in the show, but it was also incredibly choreographed. They were like holding the same, like, okay, and now 1 and 2 and 3
a little bit.
and 4, and I wait, and you hit it.
I've
hit the
seen
sword,
worse,
hit the sword.
but yeah.
Ah, yes, okay, now we got it. But it was pretty, it reminded me of like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon a little bit. And I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah. Very much.
They had a similar fight, which may have been better in Mandalorian when we first saw Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of similar samurai style.
And I think a big reason because of that was because of the way they filmed it. They had a huge wide shot for way too long in this, so it really showed like, okay, you maybe did some cuts to some other angles when you did some hits.
You gotta hang on it.
Yeah, but to hang on it, you really notice like, okay, they're practicing the choreography right now. Like, this is fine, whatever.
Yeah,
it might be one of those things, and like, no offense to Rosario, she's interviewing about how she worked her ass off and wanted to train and keep training. Sometimes when you're watching this, you'll be like, Rosario, we might need to get your stunt double in there just to make it a little quicker.
I had the same thought a couple of times. I was like, but I like do it though. Like if that's cool, but maybe if somebody else could do it cooler.
Yeah.
Right. And it's disappointing because it's like we love seeing like the actors actually do that shit and commit. Like it's like a fucking Keanu Reeves thing.
But if you do it well, I'm not even gonna know.
Yeah,
right.
So,
we got professionals for this. It's okay if you can't do it. I understand. I get it. Go ahead and get the stunt.
We don't have to talk about it.
Like there's that one moment when Ahsoka fights Anakin where like Ahsoka does like a flip and kicks him in the face. That looked dope. I know that one was Rosario. It still looked cool as shit. Last little quick highlights for me. We didn't talk about Jason at all. That boy gonna be a fucking Jedi one day. I'm very excited. That moment where he fucking sends Ahsoka in the ocean.
Cool.
I was like, that was a dope Star Wars moment.
This fucking kid.
This kid's gonna be powerful as fuck. Dope as hell. Oh, I gotta shout out one of the Night Sisters played by Claudia Black. She is primarily a voice actor. She was in the Uncharted series.
Oh, nice.
Oh, sweet.
She played Chloe.
Oh.
And she's delightful.
That's awesome.
Oh, cameo. Fucking shout out to C-3PO for saving the fucking day when Hera was about to get her ass fucking fired.
We had a feeling that they would try to do something with Leia, but we knew that they couldn't do anything with obviously Leia.
Yeah.
So I was curious how they were going to do that, but having Princess Leia send C-3PO was very interesting. You still got a cool cameo out of it.
I thought it was cute. Cool. I thought it worked out real well.
I just thought he looked really bad. I didn't
really?
I can't complain about the way anybody else looks, but for me, like 3PO just didn't. He looked like a poor cosplay. Mostly the stomach that had like he's usually got all his wires exposed, and maybe they're like, oh, he got a couple upgrades, but it just looked like a skeleton T-shirt type of situation. I was like, that's just not
funny.
it. That's just not doing it for me.
Interesting.
It felt like a cheaper midsection, a cheaperly made midsection, which
no shit
would have been fine if I didn't know that droid so well.
Right. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I do have a question to pose to you guys. When do you think it's either appropriate or fans won't have a fucking fit for them to just recast these characters? Like, how long can they avoid not having Princess Leia or Luke show up without having it be a terrifying
that's a good question.
Ghost de-aging thing?
And I wonder if with this the actor strike and post the SAG strike, and they have this new contract with the with AI, like I feel like if they never had to sign any new deals and like not use AI or like digital voices or whatever, I feel like they would milk that train forever and never recast Luke, never recast Leia.
Oh yeah.
But I think time will tell. We'll see what happens.
I think eventually, this is a hot take, so let's sit for this.
All right.
I think they're gonna remake the old movies.
Yeah.
Oh,
4 through 6, I think they're gonna remake them.
Wow.
Especially because the sequels were bad. So I think they want to go back to nostalgia, because nostalgia is everything. So eventually they're gonna remake them, and that's when they'll do the recast.
Are they gonna make them bad? Oh, if
Probably.
they make them like this,
They'll be, for sure.
That'd be something.
They can't make them with the volume. They can't do it. They can't fucking do it. They absolutely cannot. From those movies being like so much practical shit to doing the no.
But they won't do that. They won't do that either, though. There's no way they're gonna.
We watched Lion King,
right. Let's do this one practical, guys. Just like the old days.
We saw how they can ruin something that was really good.
Yeah, I mean,
I hope that doesn't happen.
I definitely think they'll probably remake it. I don't think it's anytime soon. I think they're still trying to rock this Dave Filoni Clone Wars era Star Wars train. Once they connect more dots to that sequel trilogy, I don't know, because they're still doing apparently that Rey movie of her post episode 9. So I don't know.
Wait,
I think someone would have to buy Lucasfilm from Disney to do that.
And that is interesting. I know they're doing a couple new spin-off things, but I thought they said the Skywalker story was finished.
It is, like this whole saga.
But she the last movie was about her being Skywalker.
Yeah.
By the end.
Yeah.
So they said we lied.
Disney do a lot of shit.
Why make another movie with her? I don't get it.
I mean,
maybe it'll be great. Maybe she'll redeem herself.
I'm excited.
I hope it's
like
great.
She older, wiser, master training.
She wears a lot of white.
Oh, great. Another stoic character. Fine. Wow.
Well, I'm excited for the Avengers, Star Wars, Dave Filoni, Ahsoka mashup. Ahsoka,
I mean, yeah, that's the other thing is that movie that he's making is what he's leading up to. So I think that's the question is,
that'd be cool.
What order are these? Are we getting Ahsoka season 2 between this? Mando season 4? We ain't getting Boba Fett 2. You know?
I feel like we'll get Mando 4, but I feel like if they give us Mando 4, they're going to have to give us every single one of these other characters.
They have to.
They're just going to plant Boba Fett into Mandalorian is what's going to happen there. They're not going to put him back on his own shit anymore.
I wouldn't trust them to answer this Balin story stuff in that movie with Thrawn and Ezra. And like they wouldn't be able to do it all in a movie. So they have to do a season 2 of Ahsoka before that movie, I would imagine. They got a lot of shit they got to try to tie together.
Man.
Oh boy.
My head hurts.
But overall, some of the highest highs for me, some pretty low lows.
This is all true.
I thought it would be better. I'm kind of bummed it wasn't, but it's not egregious. I still think Rosario's great though. I still like seeing her. I think she's still good.
Yeah, she's great. Also, Aboleth for the win. Let's go. Do a little research. Like that.
Let's make it happen.
That piece of information just makes the ending a little bit better.
I'm not gonna lie, Alex. If we get Aboleth before we get a Star Killer, I'm gonna be upset.
Me too. Me too. Honestly,
I don't want a Star Killer.
I'll take if he's got all the Force powers that he should.
I would say it. Do it. Fuck it.
They said they were going to put that man in this one, and he lied to us. He said that he had something to do with it.
I told you he didn't do shit.
He had some voices. He had some voices.
Fat outlier.
He was in the credits a couple times, right?
Oh, he was in the credits.
Oh, really?
For like voiceover work.
Okay, I didn't. Okay, so he wasn't lying.
Yeah,
that makes me feel better.
I don't think I'm not sure which character he played. He might have been Maddox, or what was that guy's name?
He wasn't Enoch.
Not Enoch.
I looked that up because I thought it was going to be him, but it wasn't him.
The zombie Inquisitor.
Oh, that dude? I don't know.
He could have been him, or he could have been. It was a couple episodes I saw online. I was like, oh, let me go down this rabbit hole.
Because at one point, people did think he was gonna be Star Killer. There's gonna be a reveal, and that'd be Star Killer. But instead, he just died.
Yeah,
and it was stupid.
I think he's just like a super fan and is constantly like hanging out and he's really good also.
Right.
Yeah.
So apparently he did a couple other like, just background voices for other unnamed people in Clone Wars and stuff, or maybe Rebels, I'm not sure.
He seems like a cool guy. Like he's really passionate about.
People have been
stuff,
theorizing that
for sure.
maybe if they continue this whole Balin Mordecai thing, that he could play the live action version of the Sun character, because they say the statue that's kind of crumbling of the Sun looks similar to him. So who knows?
That'd be cool.
Who knows?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Those games sucked.
Yeah, they weren't very good.
Oh, also, last thing for me, the Anakin is definitely has to be the new father figure, right? He's like the chosen one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And so he's that's why he's I don't know. He's super OP.
He found the balance between the two, sort of, I guess. I don't. He didn't. Let's face it. He didn't. He killed a bunch of kids and then saved one and killed one guy and then got to go to Jedi heaven.
Right. He had a Vegeta level.
He committed fucking genocide and then got rid of one dude and you're saved. All right, whatever.
Well, it's all about balance. It's all about balance, and he had to kill all the kids because the Jedi were too strong. And he had to bring them down.
He had to kill all the kids.
he had to do Order 66 because the Jedi were too powerful and it needed to be balanced out. He's always just balancing things, and that's why he's the father.
He had to create a 30-year genocidal era and then to go to heaven. Yep.
I mean, it's the Jedi
had
like 1,000 some people, and the Sith just got 2. Like, that's not fair. Come on. Got 2 people on our team?
That's true.
Get out of here.
All right, that is Ahsoka, listeners. Go check it out. Whatever.
If you want. If you like Star Wars, I guess. If you don't, then
that's true.
Why are you listening? Why are you
here?
If
you don't like Star Wars, check out Ahsoka. It'll be a great intro to the universe.
You'll be very confused.
Yeah, very much so. All right.
Why has the green girl got a nice butt? What?
All right. Let's move on to our final segment of the week, guys, which we like to call Free for All. Title pending. This is a segment, listeners. We kind of do whatever we want. Talk about our day, talk about life, fight, rant, nap. It is free for all.
Let's fight.
Alex, you said you had a good one.
Yeah. I just had my 32nd birthday.
Yeah.
And
gross.
Yep. Yeah. I'm getting
Two
up
very
there.
different reactions there.
my wife was super kind to me and got 2 video games that I've been super excited to play.
No.
Zelda and Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh shit!
That's right. That's right.
Shit.
So I'm knee deep in 2 of the best
you ain't never
video
gonna play
games of
any
our
game
generation.
ever again until the day you
good.
die.
I'm good. I can retire on this one, but don't tell anybody I said that.
Your daughter is gonna be 18 years old by the time you finish those games.
Yeah.
The past few nights I've been just staying up late and playing I was gonna say Elder's Gate, Baldur's Gate.
Oh, so you're actually
I was about to say, which did you? So you played Baldur's Gate first?
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate. That is
nice.
I mean, I played Zelda for a few hours, and it's awesome also. But Baldur's Gate is really something special for sure.
Nice.
I mean, it's right up my alley. It's like great story and characters and really deep like mechanical systems, and yeah, you can just get kind of lost in the weeds in the inventory and just all this like juicy RPG stuff that you want. It's pretty phenomenally great.
It's a very you game. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you found it difficult at all? I know a lot of people complain about it being kind of hard. People that don't know that game style.
Yeah, I mean, I watched some YouTube videos like on how to play and stuff because they kind of just like throw you in there, and there's very slim tutorial, and there's still a lot of things I'm figuring out, but it's like the combats are challenging for one because you're trying to figure out how to play, but for 2 they're just like a little bit, it's like chess. It's like a strategy game, so you got to like think a good bit and kind of set yourself up. But I'm playing as a bard, which is a lot of fun.
Oh,
yeah, it's my first. I went bard. I mean, you get a bunch of characters. It's a lot like Dragon Age. So I think I know Brian's a big fan of Dragon Age. Oscar, especially Dragon Age Origins. I know Oscar, whenever you got to finish that one, and you've been wanting to revisit it. But honestly, I would say just go straight into this, which is not BioWare, but apparently it's a lot of the same people that made those first few Dragon Age games came over to Larian and started making a bunch of great games with Divinity Original Sin and now Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, I played Bard in Divinity Original Sin, and I had a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah. It was hard not to go Wizard.
Yeah, I would imagine. I was surprised. Yeah, genuinely surprised.
It was hard not going Wizard, but I'm doing like, I don't know, I'm still figuring it out, but I'm like healing people, I'm singing songs, and I'm dealing a lot of damage too. So it's kind of like, I kind of get to do everything and there's so much dialogue and like things that you need like charisma for. So it's kind of fun being like a good talker and a good charismatic character. And I've never really focused on charisma in any game, but it's kind of fun. It's different, and you get so many other characters that can do other cool things. But I don't know. I might respec. I might like you can multi-class and be like maybe it'll be like a wizard bard.
Ooh.
Anyway, it's super cool.
Alex,
stuff like that.
How big is your dick?
Yo, it's.
I watched a lot of streamers scare themselves with that option.
You don't want to know.
They're just like, oh, what does this button do? Oh, no.
That's funny.
Don't get banned, listeners.
No, it came out on Mac. I was excited to play it. I didn't know if I would ever get a chance to unless I bought like a PlayStation 5, but it came out on Mac not that long ago, and I had no idea. And,
I didn't know it came out on Mac either.
It's been fucking great, yeah. It's been really fun.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I feel like I should go next because it kind of goes towards my thing, in that I'll probably start playing Baldur's Gate soon because I think I'm ready to put down stuff.
Oh, already?
Yeah, do it.
Damn.
Do it.
It's been like 2 weeks?
I'm not finished with it.
Yo, I'm excited for you.
I'm not finished with it, but I don't think I want to play it anymore. And
I kind of forgot you were still playing that.
It's good. Yeah. I think it's good that you played Starfield first. I'll say that.
Yes.
I knew that you would enjoy it, but we all know that it's, has it as a game with its problems or whatever. So you kind of you get out what you put in type of situation.
Yeah. And that was the thing, is I knew that it was coming out soon. I was like, I can't have 2 big RPGs at the same time. I don't have time to play these games right now. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'll wait for Starfield to come out because it's free for one thing. I got it on Game Pass and I want to play through that. And I thought I was going to be able to immerse myself in that for months and whatnot. I'm finding myself struggling. And it's kind of sad. It kind of makes me kind of sad the more time that I put into it, that it's just like, I don't love the way this game plays.
Have you beaten the story?
This game feels. No, I've not beaten the story.
Oh, wow.
I've done some side missions, stuff like that. I just don't really, I get kind of bored. It's a disjointed experience that I'm kind of learning. It's not Skyrim. Skyrim's exploration feels so good and natural and interesting. This feels very forced sometimes. Like, I was having some good stuff. I definitely feel like I've touched some of like the better like storylines that are like the side stuff or whatever. I hear things about the story. There's a thing about New Game Plus that's apparently really interesting because it kind of forwards the story.
Yeah.
Instead of being, I've heard things like that, which makes me want to finish it, but I'm just really having a tough time. The loading screens that kind of happen are really jarring, and there's too many of them. It never takes long because I do have a decent computer. That's fine. The side stuff is like, some of it's really cool, and some of it's just kind of fetch quest bullshit. I really haven't found anything that was like so interesting that I was like, holy shit, like this is what I like.
Right.
The persuasion in the game works stupidly. It's not very good.
Stupidly.
It always makes me mad.
Sounds terrible.
It's really goofy. There's a lot of things that are just like not interesting in what they kind of do. And it's just like all this game has so much surface level stuff that it's like, oh, that's really interesting, but they just don't delve far enough into anything.
Right.
So I think that's kind of the issue. They tried to do too much and nothing
it's like the
really,
jack of all trades thing.
Yeah, master of none. Nothing really just feels in depth enough to be like, okay, I'm really immersed in this now.
Right.
So
that's disappointing. Honestly, I feel like Starfield did kind of come and go. I kind of forgot it existed.
I think it's a decent game. Like, I don't think it's a bad game by any means, but it's kind of like the Fallout 4 effect, where it's like it's okay, but like I didn't like Fallout 4 that much either, and I think it's kind of more of that feeling of like, okay, maybe this is what it is, and it's taking up 125 gigs on my computer, so I need to delete it.
God
anyway.
damn.
Yeah, shit's big as fuck.
Baldur's Gate's pretty big too. It was like, I think it was over 100. I don't remember how many. I don't have any other games on here.
And I think that's a big issue too. I think if Baldur's Gate wasn't so fucking good, maybe Starfield would have had more conversation.
This is honestly the best news for you. I feel like this is great.
Do you think Starfield just needs more sex?
Maybe. I mean, apparently you can like marry your characters and stuff like that.
You can marry him, and Skyrim. Oh, you don't do that. Doesn't do anything,
right? I don't really like many of my companions that much, and that's kind of a thing that I don't really want to talk to them or marry them or have any relationship with them because they're. I
never did companions in the Bethesda games. It always just felt like out of place
because they're useless.
Yeah.
You just tell them to hide in a corner the whole time.
Yeah, I'm always playing stealth characters and stuff like that, and they always fuck up my stuff every single time because they'll just run and gun directly in there. So now it's like I can't stealth.
I'm trying to master the stealth in Baldur's Gate right now, and it's really fun, but it's complicated.
Yeah, I hear you can do some really goofy stuff with it. I did some dumb stuff in Divinity Original Sin by being stealthy, which
right.
was funny.
Yeah, I know you like that one, so I'm super excited for you, man. I think you're gonna love it.
I know I'm gonna love it. It was never like even a question for me. It was
matter of
just,
time.
When will I have time?
Right.
And Starfield is
Is it a Game Pass
that's
game?
a game.
Baldur's Gate?
No,
Oh,
you
okay.
gotta buy that. It's like on Steam and stuff.
I'll be real. I don't have time to play this game either, but I'm just electing to sleep even less than I currently am, which is not a
lot. Welcome to being an adult.
So far, it's great. So worth every second that I'm awake.
You better hope that game like has a better save feature than Final Fantasy VII did on your Switch, or else your computer's gonna be stuck on pause for the next decade.
No, it's got a lot of save option settings, so it's pretty. I think we're good, and hopefully it doesn't delete everything. That would be bad.
Oh, that would suck. Yeah. I will quickly go last because, like I said, I kind of forgot. I was just so busy this week that I didn't really have much of a free for all. But then I thought of something because I watched multiple pieces of 2 different movies that I was like, by the end, I was like, these movies have the same problem, and that is The Matrix and Star Wars are the same thing in the sense that I was watching, at like simultaneously back and forth, the ending of The Matrix Revolutions and Revenge of the Sith, where I was like, these movies get in their own damn way.
Wait, is that the third Matrix or the fourth Matrix?
That's the third Matrix. Sorry, not the newest one.
Okay.
The third one. So, Smith, Neo, Dragon Ball Z fight in the rain.
I can see that totally, yes. Especially with the last scene in Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, that's like very similar. That's funny.
But it's mostly just in the sense that like both of these movies have like, if you get rid of all the bullshit, there's a really interesting plot there. But they pack so much jargon and garbage in there that it ruins it all. And I was like, these movies have the same fucking problems, that they fucking talk too much about some dumb shit that no one cares about.
No one cares about. Yeah.
Nice.
Revolution. You can tell that Wachowskis are like, oh shit, we need to make sure they understand what's happening here. No one cares. Big Mech robot fight, now anime.
Yeah.
We know you like anime girls. It's okay.
So I just thought that comparison was fair. I was like, damn, these are 2 moments that have really fun stuff that are just so fucking stupid.
At least Revenge of the Sith was good. Revolutions fucking sucks. That was terrible.
So yeah, that's my free for all. That's it. Shout out to God of War Ragnarok. That is the episode, listeners. We've done it once again. You can email us at thefortress@gmail.com. Fortress.FOUR. Feel free to email us any questions, feedback, recommendations, anything like that. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and the YouTube channel at The Fortress of. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, tell your cat. Follow the 3 R's like a Bollywood movie. Rate, review us, and recommend us to anyone and everyone you know. Thank you, Jackie, for helping me edit the podcast every week. Thank you, Brian, for the art, Alex for the music, and Devin, thank you for being here, even when we don't know what continent you're on.
Where's
find
Devin?
Brian on Instagram.
Where's Devin?
At ITC_, by the way. Alex at Peterson Films and Devin. You can find him somewhere, somehow. We don't know. Next week, I don't know. We got a couple weeks to do whatever we want because all the shows started again. So, which means in like 4 to 6 weeks, we're just gonna be flooded with a bunch of shit. So look forward to that. But until then, happy holidays and put a coat on. It's cold out there.
Yeah.
Actually, it is fucking cold, bro.
It got
cold. It sucked. I didn't look at the weather and needed the coat. It was cold.
Yeah, we're at this weird point where it's like really warm during the day and then it's really cold at night.
Yeah,
that's really stupid.
All right. See you next week here, listeners, in another episode in the Fortress of.
Yeah, do it.